Hello, everybody, and welcome to the It's in Queens broadcast covering events on the last day in May and the first 6 days in June 2019, May 31 to June 6.
You haven't lost a step, Rob. You know that?
There you go.
Lost a step.
Chris, everything good over here? This is Chris Donovan, by the way.
Oh, this is Rob McCoy. Look at
Chris,
that.
everything good with you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Good. I'm happy to be here. This is our
new secret bunker.
Our new secret bunker. We're the Eating with Raul.
I'm not going to say where in Queens it is, but
my dinner with Andre. This is my dinner with Andre. Eating with Raul.
Eating Raul.
This is my dinner with
Andre
podcast.
Don't say where we are. Just you can tell them that's the wooded side of Queens.
Okay. Yes, we're here looking at the wooded side of Queens. People are not going to think that we're in Sunnyside by saying that. I don't think. Maybe we'll have to see.
You have to draw your own conclusions on that. I'm not here to.
Anyway, getting to what everyone has been waiting for.
Let's get it.
We have a kind of an interesting week.
Yeah.
As you know, it's getting warm out here. We're going
outdoor
outside.
Outdoor events.
And we have a couple of first evers, which are, one is off the wall wacky.
Nice.
But let me tell you about the first one, which is on June 1st.
Okay.
Water Lantern Festival.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Well, they have them all around. They have a water lantern festivals in more than 100 cities. And now we get our first one here in Queens. It's going to be in Flushing Meadows, Coronate Park.
Yep.
You know the Fountain of the Planets?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, where they filmed Planet of the Apes.
That's
which
right.
is why they call it Fountain of the Planets. The first Planet of the Apes. I don't know what happens in the remake.
There's so many Planet of the Apes movies.
The first one.
Yeah, the real one.
When they come out at the end and they're in Queens. Yeah.
Damn dirty apes.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
right.
do you know about water lantern festivals?
I've seen photos and and video of it. I watch National Geographic and stuff like that. Yeah.
So the idea is that people pay you write messages of hope and love, and you design your own lantern and you put it out into the water. They all float together, and it's a beautiful photo op. But I was actually
very Instagrammable.
It's very Instagrammable, right? But the interesting thing about it, I was reading about them. They actually started in 1946 in Japan, in Tokyo.
Okay,
right
I thought they were much older
than
that.
Well, right after World War II, it was a way of honoring the dead.
Makes sense. So on Memorial Day, we're actually filming this, right?
And we're filming this on Memorial Day. But so that's kind of interesting. And from Tokyo, it took off around the world. I know the company that organizes this event is actually based in Utah, and they organize all the lantern festivals. They're, as I said, are in more than 100 cities.
Wow.
So it's about time Queens got one, right?
We should. We have a very large Asian
So
population.
that's kind of interesting. And I was looking at their website. A lot of the water lantern festivals sell out.
Oh, okay.
Like they have, like it'll say like whatever. And
now this is pay to play?
Yeah, you pay. And I should also add that while you're designing your lantern and everything, there's also great food trucks and live bands.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so
come on.
But this one is not sold out yet in Queens. I've
Okay.
seen that some other places they're sold out.
Sure.
It's the first time ever. So it's
It'll get there once they get the It's in Queens podcast.
after this podcast hits
Yeah.
online.
I mean,
it'll be
let's face it.
So I thought that's kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool that it's coming to Queens.
Certainly.
And then I got something totally off the wall.
Give it to me. Now,
All right.
now you're barking up my tree.
I'll read what it says. The first 24-hour public reading of the entire redacted Mueller report.
Oh my God, this sounds very wacky. This sounds really wacky.
Do you know the Ark? Where
of course, yes.
Yeah. So the Ark is a new
performance
space.
space.
We'll be filming from there in a little bit.
Yeah,
with
for
the
sure.
woman who runs it,
No doubt.
So the Ark is this great. They sort of basically took over what was sort of a warehouse. It was actually a sushi factory.
Yeah,
and they have a place for live music. They have a place for dance. They have a little museum. It's a multi-purpose multi-arts place.
that's right.
So they
Multidiscipline.
So they are multidiscipline or multi-genre, whatever.
Yeah, I like
What's
that
the
one.
word?
That was good.
Do you like genre better than discipline?
Yeah.
Discipline is more like a sports thing, right?
Discipline, I thought it was like an arts
discipline?
thing.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you can do pottery and
Those
you
are
can
different
do painting.
disciplines.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so they are having it's going to start on June 1st at 8 o'clock. And it is going to 8 p.m. It is going to go straight until June 2nd, 8 p.m.
Oh, that's going to get wacky in about the 12th hour, I think.
As of right now, they have more than 100 citizens who have signed up to read parts of it. And the people that have signed up include actors, musicians, people from both television, film, and theater, and other people in the creative world. And so they are going to read different parts of the Mueller report.
Nice.
For 24 hours in a row.
All right. I hope they film it because it should be interesting.
I'm sure they will. And remember, the Ark is the place that has Ironing Man.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
ironing this.
One of your favorite New York City characters.
There's a guy who just sits there. He stands. He goes to all of their parties, and he has an iron, and people come by, and you give him his clothes, and he irons them for you while you're at the party.
I love it. I absolutely love that.
24 hours. Yeah. He could iron a lot of clothes in that case.
He's gonna knock it out.
I wonder if he could. Yeah.
Do you think he uses spray starch or no?
I don't know. I think if you ask. He aims to please, Iron Man. So that's kind of, I mean, I guess you could come at any time and stuff. And it'd be interesting.
Check in, check out.
You could sign up to read. Yeah. But something tells me there's going to be a lot of Trump bashing going on.
No.
So maybe I'll go and I'll read something about Trump, the best president ever. Let's
that would
have
be
a moment
idea.
Of silence
That'd be a bad
for the
idea.
Wonderful economy.
Well, I want you to live to see next week's podcast, so let's keep you out of there.
Yeah. Or maybe Trump could hire someone. He could get Kellyanne Conway.
You know, he's going to call it the worst idea ever.
And then we also have something that's back by popular demand, and that is the Queen's Pride Parade and Festival.
There we go.
Through Jackson Heights. You know, it's a parade, but there's also the festival beforehand is a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Not only is there all great food and stuff, but there's a stage, a main stage.
Yep.
And the main stage is at 75th Street and 37th Road. And it says right here they've got singers, comedians, drag acts, dance groups, and food. So before they parade, which is down 37th Avenue.
Right.
And remember, they paint the line on 37th Avenue lavender.
Yep.
They have some great acts, including the Queensboro Dance Festival, which we talked about last week.
Certainly.
Or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
They are providing 6 dancers, and I know that one of them is the Vichy dance troupe, which is the guys from Jamaica, and it's Caribbean style, it's Caribbean urban mix.
Nice.
So there are a couple of good dance plays there, and it's a really fun day.
Yeah, it's a fun party.
And since there's the DA's election and the borough president's election, if our current borough president wins the DA election, there'll be a lot of politicians out.
Oh, no doubt.
Something tells me De Blasio won't be there, though. What do you
probably
think?
Not.
He'll probably do. He's in Vegas.
He'll probably do the big one in New York, in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
He doesn't make it to the outer boroughs that often.
Well, you know, he does. This is his kind of place, but he's just so out of New York right now.
Right.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see if he shows up.
He should.
All right. Anyway, there is something that I think I have to go to. It's called Country Blues and Dance. But do you know Piedmont? It's Piedmont, PA, Footmont Hills. It's the foothills.
Okay.
The foothills of Appalachia.
All right.
Which stretch from Georgia to the Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
That region is known for hillbillies.
Moonshine.
And hillbilly, yes, exactly. But country and blues dance and tap dancing and fiddling.
Oh, yeah.
And there's white and there's black, and they get together. The music genres are similar, and so they're having a whole big music of that on May 31st at Flushing Town Hall.
There you go.
You're going to say Flushing Town Hall.
There's only one place and a thing like that could happen.
Yeah, it includes blues harmonica master Phil Wiggins.
Dude, harmonica is a cool
totally
instrument.
Cool when you know how to do it.
Oh yeah,
totally cool. Fiddler Marcus Moore, the dance artistry of Junior Brickhouse, the Harris Brothers, and Appalachian Blues Songsters.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be good.
So that's gonna be fun. There's gonna be dancing, fiddle music. There's gonna be a little.
Did you ever see that documentary about the Whites of West Virginia? It's the family name is Whites, and they're all dancers. Does it get into the language that they speak? Like, I saw a documentary on the language of the this was about the dancing and about like the strife, I guess, of the performance. Yeah,
okay.
They were like champion
Appalachian
dancers.
English is supposed to be the closest to the English that Shakespeare spoke.
That's true.
Because the English people that came to the U.S. From Shakespeare's time, they
ended up in the mountains.
accent and the language, the words have changed the least.
Oh, okay.
There's the least amount of influence. So really, if you see a Shakespeare production with people speaking British accents, that's wrong. They should be having Appalachian accents.
Of course,
if they wanted to be authentic.
I think they're going to do that at Queen's Theater next year. They're going to have it all Appalachian.
We should demand it on this program.
All Appalachian Shakespeare.
Yep. Laser light shows. Do you like laser light shows?
I did.
Did you go to Laser Zeppelin?
Laser Zeppelin and Laser Floyd at the
All right,
planetarium?
very
Yeah,
good.
of course.
Did you do that?
I did, yeah.
All right. So anybody from
Pack of Marlboro Reds in my jean jacket and head it out.
And maybe some LSD in your bloodstream?
This is being recorded, Robert.
Okay, good point. Well, anybody from our generation grew up knowing and loving
Laser Floyd.
Laser Light Zeppelins, where you would go to the planetarium and they would play music and you would watch. What would you describe what you were watching?
Very trippy light show.
Okay, a light show, yeah. So anyway, the origins of the Laser Light Show. At the Museum of the Moving Image, they are spending a night where they are explaining the whole origins of the Late Show, showing different films that show the development of the Laser Light Show, how it started out in the 1920s and how it developed up through the 1970s until what it is right now.
Nice.
And after they actually show the films, there's going to be a talk with a physicist named Elsa Garmeyer and the guy who founded the Joshua Light Show. The Joshua Light Show was founded by Joshua White.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. What an interesting name for his light show.
Yeah. So if you want to see that's kind of fun. That's something for us. For those of us who are too old to go to the laser shows, we could go back, reminisce, and learn about what happened.
The origin.
The whole thing that happened.
I like it.
Yeah. There is also other things, intimate conversations. The Jamaica Center for Arts and Living does a thing where they get an artist in residence, someone who lived there, to talk about all of the art that they produced while there.
Right.
And this year there's a dancer named Laura Peterson, who was actually an artist in residence last year. She's going to come back and just describe and go through the entire process where she created choreography, the dance show, which is called Paper Room, Folding and Unfolding, which is the dance is actually based on the shared American experiences of never really knowing the full story in any situation.
That's a very true statement.
So it's a dance choreography trying to portray, I guess, the way human beings pretend they know more than they know.
Oh.
Not that you'd ever get that on this show.
I was going to say, you're looking at me pretty heavily right there.
What's also kind of interesting is we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing.
That's right.
It's amazing to think it was only 50 years ago, considering
it just feels like time has passed.
Just like that must have been such a huge event.
Oh my God!
Someone landing on, and now we have all this technology, and
we're not landing on the moon.
No, but we're soon going to be colonizing it. In fact, my
nephew
told me, I asked him where he wants to live when he grows up, and he said the moon.
Oh, look at that!
I think it's going to be a great place to live.
He hasn't looked at Astoria, I guess.
No, he's only 15. But anyway,
is he a sophomore, a wise fool?
He is. Yes, he is. He is.
Yeah.
Yes. Sophomore means wise fool.
Yeah.
Sophia, moron. Okay. Anyway, so the New York Hall of Science is doing a whole bunch of things celebrating the
I talked to Dan when he was at the Queens Tourism Council meeting. We're going to try to get him some archival Daily News footage of some photos and stuff like that. Yeah.
But one thing they're doing is that on June 1st, they're opening up their Ultimate Flight exhibition. And so this is a huge, if anyone's been to the New York Hall of Science, there are all kinds of interactive stuff.
Thing? Yeah.
There are flight simulators. There's the 180-degree immersive.
Ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's all kinds of that where it's immersive and motion ground capture group experience. This thing says demonstrates how you fly like a bird or how a bird flies. Oh. So if you want to go in, a lot of it's interactive. You study about flight and.
I noticed New York Hall of Science. All of their things sort of like are about science. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I actually didn't notice that, but I do know that in their gift shop they have those insect lollipops.
Oh yeah, they have insect. I was hoping for. Remember astronaut ice cream? They sell that.
They did sell that.
They sell that at.
Do they not sell that anymore?
I don't know. They might. I remember the first time I ever saw it was at the Smithsonian in Washington.
Oh yeah, astronaut ice cream. Just quickly, some other things. Coronate, which is actually
the Kumite.
Coronate.
Oh,
it's the Queens Museum has
the ultimate fighting.
No,
like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
Oh, really?
That was the Kumite.
That was Kumite?
Kumite.
This is much better than Jean-Claude.
Of course. Coronate.
They do Queens Museum. It's an outdoor festival of Corona. Oh no, this one is actually they do a bunch of these. Usually they're outdoors at Corona Plaza, where there's dance and music and all kinds of different arts. This one is actually going to be at the Queens Museum.
So in Flushing Meadows Park.
So music, art workshops, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of fun. National Trails Day, June 1st. You can volunteer to clear trails at Flushing Meadow Corona Park.
Oh, that park needs help.
With the stewardship team.
Yep.
They will be working on the Pat Dolan Trail, which is, I guess you would call that on the Kew Gardens side.
Yes.
You'd call it on the Kew. There's a trail named after Pat Dolan. Was a civic leader, very active civic leader, who unfortunately was actually killed in a tragic car accident. Remember that? It was raining and she was and they named a trail after her because she was very involved in parks and other stuff. Yep. Yeah. There is a genealogy workshop.
Oh, that'd be cool.
At the Onderdonk house, which is in Ridgewood.
Yeah.
The oldest Dutch architecture house remaining in New York State, I believe.
I hate when you look to me for help and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Anyway, they have a researcher, a genealogist who's there, and she will actually give a presentation to teach you how to look up your own root.
That's cool.
I was actually having a conversation with that today with someone who is she wants to find all about her great grandparents and her great grandparents. I'm not that interested in that.
No kidding.
Are you interested in it?
Totally. I'm fascinated by it because I only
what your great grandfather was like.
I only know up to my grandparents, and I got a little bit of a taste of my great grandparents. But think about my parents, right? My mom. Her mom was Italian, and her dad was Hungarian. So I want to know how Italian and Hungarian were able to get married because because they were talking about my grandmother on that side was born in 1900. I'm sure it wasn't a very accepting time in 1920 when she got married.
No, but but I kind of figure that some of my antecedents were good people, some were bad.
Oh yeah, you're gonna find out. So you have some terrible people in the family. Yeah,
some were a little bit good, a little bad. It's probably a mixed bag.
Oh, it certainly should
be. I'm sure. Yeah. So anyway,
everybody's got them though. Everyone thinks their family is great, but they always got that one cousin.
No, I'm sure I've got something that I'd be ashamed of. But anyway, just quickly, the Center of Attention, which is a periodical thing at Noguchi Museum, where the one of the curators who knows a lot about the pieces in the museum, they pick a piece there and they actually have a whole conversation about the piece. This one, which is on June 2nd, is looking at a sculpture called The Harmonious, which Saburo Hasegawa made in 1953. Now, Saburo Hasegawa was a Japanese sculptor who worked with Noguchi for a while. If you remember, Noguchi was half Japanese and grew up in the U.S., and he worked with this Hasegawa to learn all about a lot of the Japanese
stuff. An apprentice?
Yeah, well, like a friend and collaborator, really. The Long Island City Waterfront Run is this Saturday morning at it's 5K, and they now are expecting 1,500 runners. It's an annual thing.
1,500 runners.
Yeah, they got more than 1,000 last year. They got 1,200, and they think they're going up to 1,500. So that might be fun. And the other thing I would say would be SALA, which is also at
State Liquor Authority.
No, which is SALA. No, it's SA. The word ESSA, and then LA. It's the Museum of the Moving Images is going to show a bunch of different films about LA.
Okay.
So it's a whole bunch of different ones, and they'll be showing all weekend. So if you want to do that, and then finally, Tango. Mas Tango at the Thalia Spanish Theater. There's an Uruguayan bandoleon player.
Okay.
Who always comes back, and they're doing a tango presentation of tango, both old classical tangos and some new ones that were just invented for this show. It starts on May 31st and actually runs for a couple weeks. So if you want to check out some absolutely fantastic tango, you can do it starting May 31st of this month. or of this month. Chris, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I noticed the Forest Hill Stadium concert series started this weekend. Yeah. Wasn't able to catch that show, but I'm looking forward to. They have a good couple of shows on the schedule this year.
I believe May 22nd was the first day, right? They had a concert.
That was
it was
Saturday.
Greta Van Fleet. So
yeah.
I didn't see the concert, but I saw the Instagram and all that. Yeah. And apparently it was great.
Yeah, people loved it.
Yeah.
I tried to score a late ticket off StubHub, and there were none to be had, so it must have been sold out. Yeah.
So Forest Hill Stadium, if you don't know, Forest Hill Stadium was originally part of tennis, where we watched tennis.
West Side Tennis
Club. I remember when I was about 10 going to the U.S. Open there.
Watching Vitas Gerulaitis?
There was a guy named Eddie Dibbs.
Okay.
Who was from Brooklyn, and my grandparents and I were from Brooklyn, so we were watching him in that stadium, rooting hard.
A Brooklyn guy.
Yeah, he lost.
Hey, hit the ball.
He might have been like that. Or he might have left Brooklyn at like age 10.
Yeah, that's probably.
To Florida.
Any good athlete gets out.
But yeah, anyway, the stadium, they had people
center court,
but the stadium back in the 70s and 80s, they had Paul Simon and the Beatles played there.
Yeah.
And now
Jimi
Hendrix played there, and now it's back.
Now it's back in full force.
Now it's back, and they've got a great lineup.
They do. They have a good lineup this year.
The only thing I would say is I kind of wanted to start a new thing called Last Chance. There's a lot of things that start and run for a long time.
Yeah,
just to remind you, a couple of weeks ago we talked about the first transatlantic flight, which happened which actually left Rockaways. And people think that Charles Lindbergh made the first flight across the Atlantic, but he made the first solo nonstop flight.
That's right.
This flight stopped in the Azores. It actually made a couple of stops on islands before.
The island hop.
It was an island hop. That's right. It was a puddle jumper.
That's right.
Anyway, that took off from Rockaways 100 years ago, and there is an exhibition going on at the Rockaway Artists Alliance, which has photos and other memorabilia of that show. And I don't know if you've seen it, but those planes, man, those planes were just. I wouldn't have gotten in that and flown over the Atlantic Ocean.
Pioneers of aviation were the bravest men and women of all time.
Those things.
No, thank you.
But if you want to see that, it closes down. The show closes down on June 2nd.
Yeah,
so get out there this
weekend.
There quick. This is your last weekend, really.
Yeah, I like it.
That's it for me. Anything else?
For me. You said it all. You said a lot today.
Well, there's a lot going on. Thank you very much for your time and your patience. Thank you for putting up with us.
No, we love it. And remember to check everything out.
Not everyone puts up with us.
No.
We don't get treated as well as at home as we do by our It's in Queens audience. Anyway, what were you saying? Check it all out.
Check it all out on the It's in Queens website,
www.itsinqueens.com or the hashtag It's in Queens.
Use that so we can follow you and pick your photos. You always have contests and stuff like that going on. So we want to see you out there.
All right. Thank you very much.
We'll see you in Queens.
Bye.